And I think we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello and welcome. My name's Paul Grogan, and today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of the Ming Voyages, designed by Alan Paull and David Mortimer. I covered this a couple of weeks ago on the channel because this is a game for 1 to 2 players. And what I did a couple of weeks ago, I played against Paull, another Paull, and we played the 2-player version. Now, there is a solo mode included, so I've been waiting for the opportunity to fit this into my schedule to basically cover the solo mode. This is a game that was on Kickstarter last month, I think it was. It's successfully funded, and it was this and the March of Progress as 2 games that you could buy in one. This is games number 2 and 3 in the Pocket Campaign series, the first one being Cousins War, which came out a couple of years ago, which is very good. So I'm going to be covering the solo mode today. Now, a couple of things. I'm not going to be doing a full tutorial of the game. I am going to be explaining things as I go, but if you want to see an actual tutorial of the game, I would check out my other video. Today we're just going to be doing a solo playthrough. Let's switch over to the overhead camera now, and hopefully the chat is working. So we've got Twitch chat and we've got YouTube chat. So if you are, hello to those people watching on Twitch, if anybody. Twitch is a new thing that I'm streaming to alongside YouTube. So if you are watching this on Twitch, please pop a message in the chat to let me know that you are watching. And I'm just going to make the YouTube chat a little bit bigger because it's a bit small. I can't actually read it. There we go. Right, I've changed the font as well, so it looks a little bit different. Right, now, I mentioned it's designed by David Mortimer and Alan Paull, and I've actually got Alan with me today. Say hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan.
There you go. Alan is joined me over the wonders of the internet from his home in. You're in Kent, aren't you?
I'm in Warboys in Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire.
That was it.
Yeah. Nearly Kent. But
nearly Kent.
I said Kent. Actually.
No, I said Kent, and I knew it wasn't Kent, but it's east.
it's towards, east. I am east. Yeah.
Towards Mordor. So yes, we're set up for the solo game. Now, the differences between the solo game and the 2-player game is we have these difficulty cards. Now, the rulebook actually says that you're supposed to lay these out left to right like that, but for saving space, I'm going to line them up like that. And the first thing is that there are different difficulty settings. Twitch chat, Oliver's on the Twitch chat. Yes, thank you very much, Oliver. So there are different difficulty settings that you can play on. I have got this configured for easy. I know you think I'm going to wimp out by playing on easy, but the rulebook does say, and you know I like to follow rulebooks, it says the first time you play this solo, you should play on easy to get used to the solo game. So there we go, I'm playing on easy. What that means is that these cards are 1, 1 and 2. If we were playing on different difficulty settings, we would basically flip these to different ones. That'll become clear later on. We have the board set up. So I am playing the Emperor. I have 1 gold in my supply. I have 1 junk here. And my homelands are defended by, now Alan, is it troops?
Troops. You have troops. The barbarians have hordes.
That's it. And we have 3 barbarian hordes here, which are the cubes. There's a whole load of other components, which are slightly off camera, but we have other components that will come into play early on now.
You should have 1 junk in your voyages as well. You get a free voyage to start with.
Oh, I do. That's a D6 roll, isn't it? No?
Yeah.
But there's 7
D6
of them.
roll.
But there's 7 of them.
Yeah, but you only get 1 to 6. You don't
right,
get
okay. So I start with a junk on 3 as well. Thank you very much. I'd forgotten that. So I've been to Arabia. Excellent. Took some photos. So the objective of the game for the Emperor player, which is the only way you can play it solo, you can't play solo as the Barbarians, is I need to try and complete the 7 voyages. If I do that, I win the game. That's like a major victory. The other option is that if I get to the end of 2 eras, and as long as I control more of these borderlands than the Barbarians, and I have completed at least 4 voyages because I'm playing on easy, if I played on a harder difficulty setting, as I will quickly show you by looking in the wrong rulebook. Here we go, solo rulebook. Difficulty settings are on page 6, I believe. Yes. So on the easy setting, I need to have completed 4 voyages. If I was playing on a harder difficulty setting, I would have needed to complete it more. So if I get to the end of the game, I'm just going to close down because you can probably hear the notifications coming through on Slack. There we go. If I get to the end of the game, I control more borderlands than the Barbarian player, and I've done 4 voyages. I get a minor victory. Other than that, I lose. So that's what I'm trying to do. Right. So the game is played over 2 eras. We need to do the setup of drawing cards. Johnny's in the chat saying 7 days away from cutting my own hair. We are getting there. I've just had a shower this afternoon, and oh boy, yes, it's getting it's getting a little long. It'll be interesting to see how these live streams go over the next few weeks with me still sat at home. 4 cards for the Barbarian player, but cards are all now placed face up. So hopefully I have arranged the screen layout so you can see the cards. Okay, right, and we are ready to start. So I'm going to take the first turn. Well, no, in fact, yeah, it's not taking turns. There are turns or rounds, and in each round, the first thing that happens is the Emperor player draws 2 cards. So I've now got 5 cards to choose from. I am now going to play one of these cards or reserve it. Now, the thing that you've got to be careful about, similar in a way to Cousins War, is that certain of these cards have barbarian actions on, although these all 3 say no action. Now, this is slightly different in the solo game. Normally, in a 2-player game, if I played this card, the barbarian player would get to do the top bit. But in the solo game, it's handled slightly differently because it uses these cards, which are slightly off camera, instead to determine what the barbarian player does. There is a CP value on each card, and the higher the CP value, generally the better the card is. But conversely, the action for the other player is also better. The other thing is at the bottom, you'll notice some of these have got numbers on. I can only do this bottom action if I have done that voyage, and I've done voyage number 3, so I can't play any of these cards for the bottom action. Doesn't mean I can't play the card. I can still play it for the CP value. So let's have a look. This one depends on how many voyages I have done, and that's an Overlord card. So that's got that's bad for me, whichever way it is. Let's go for it, and let's start off. I'm no expert at this game. I'm just going to play this card here, and I'm going to play it for the CP value. Okay, so I get 3 CP to spend. Now, Alan, remind me, I read this earlier on, but I've forgotten in the stress of being on camera. The Overlord's action, it triggers after me, is that right?
The Overlord's action always triggers after you've done your action. Yeah.
Right, okay. And we're ignoring the text that's on here. It's these cards here which are going to determine what the Overlord does. So we're going to do mine first. So I get 3 command points. Now, you have 6 different things that you can spend your command points on, but I have to choose one of them, and I spend all 3 command points on that particular action. I could recruit more troops into the homeland, I can move around, I can attack, I can tax, I can build junks, or I can voyage. I'm going to build some junks, and I get to build 1 junk for every CP that I've spent. So I have 3 junks now, all waiting around, ready to go on voyages. Yeah, that's all right. So now what happens? Good start. That's not a bad start. I remember this from the previous play because gold is spent when you go on the voyages, but the junks aren't. You always get your junks back, so having them early is good, I think. So now the Overlord player gets to do an action. As I say, we ignore what's printed on the card. What we do is we look up this value here, which is CP3, on the difficulty cards here, and CP3 is telling me to draw a card from the second event deck. Now these have been shuffled, so we're going to draw this and we're going to resolve it. So this is gather 2. Take exactly 2 settlements from the supply, so that's these white discs here, and place them in a single homeland. So the homelands are those 3 at the top. First, choose the homeland with the fewest settlements, okay? None. If equal, choose the one with the most hordes. Equal. If still equal, use the tie break. So there's lots of tie breaks in this game, and they are resolved in a very clever and simple way, is that we have this red cube here. At the start of the game, the red cube is on the left side of the windrows, the compass. So what we do is we do the leftmost one. So I'm going to put 2 settlements into this homeland here, like that. And then every time you do a tie break, you move it to the other side. Now these settlements, when they are in a homeland, they just represent that the barbarians have gathered enough resources ready to actually build a settlement in the homeland. When these discs are in the homelands, that's when they actually represent settlements themselves. I think that's right, Alan, isn't it?
That's right. When they're in the borderlands, they actually represent fortified barbarian villages, and they help the barbarians in combat.
Okay. Right, so that goes to the discard pile. Yep, there is another bit on the bottom. I'll explain that in a minute. But that is my action, and that is the reaction of the Overlord player. That card now goes to the discard pile. And then it's the Barbarian Overlord's turn. No, I have to give him some cards, don't I?
No, it's the Barbarian Overlord's turn now.
Then we swap hands. That's it. That's it. Right, so the Barbarian Overlord player has these 4 cards here. It always chooses the one with the highest CP value. Notice we have 2 cards with a CP value of 3, which means we go to the card numbers. And each card, you probably can't see it on camera, but there is a tiny little number on the card. So this one is card number 3. This one is card number 6. Do we use higher or lower? We look to the tiebreaker. So the cube is on the right-hand side. So we are using the highest numbered card as the tiebreaker. So I'm going to move the cube, and we have this card here. Now, again, the Barbarian doesn't resolve any of the actions on this card. We simply look at the CP number, and instead of comparing it to the difficulty, when it is the Overlord's turn, we actually just draw a card from the appropriate deck. So this is a CP value 3, so it's playing this card. The rules tell you not to discard it just yet, because you might need it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on top of the deck. Right, and we're going to draw and resolve this one. So this is Gather 3. It's probably similar to Gather 2, is my guess. Take 3 settlements from the supply and place them in a single homeland. So this time, the settlement with the homeland with the fewest settlements, so it's either this one or this one, and then the one with the most hordes. Tiebreaker, so 3 settlements go in there. Tiebreaker cube moves over to there. Now, I said I could explain this bottom bit. Whenever it is the Overlord's turn, and it is resolving a level 2 or a level 3 event, there is a bit at the bottom. If it did this, which it did, it also resolves a level 1 event as well. Okay, and if it wasn't able to resolve it, you would actually discard this card and do another one. I just noticed my computer is saying that I'm getting dropped frames on Twitch. So if you are watching on Twitch and there are dropped frames, then that is probably why, because my broadcasting software is flashing up that I'm getting dropped frames. Anyway, right, so we've done that, and we're now doing a level 1 event, which is move 1 horde into the most favoured adjacent empty or barbarian controlled borderland. Right, so again, the borderlands are these 5 here. Move 1 horde into the most favoured adjacent empty or barbarian controlled borderland. Right, there's none empty and there's none that are barbarian controlled. Therefore, we do the bottom bit, which is if no hordes to move or no empty barbarian, discard this card and take another. So we'll get rid of that one and he'll do something else instead, which is take 1 set. Oh, it's doing a gather 1. Well, we can't gather because we're all out of settlements. Is that right, Alan, that there's only 6 settlements?
There's only 5 settlements. There's only 5.
Sorry, 5. Yeah. There's only 5. That's good. I've not lost one. Okay.
You should bear in mind that for a reaction you only play the primary event.
Yes.
When you play your level 1, I'm just looking it up myself. I can remember.
There is no repeat on the bottom of the level 1s.
Normally what happens is if the whole of the primary event is not possible, you discard the card and draw another one. Yeah. If the level 1 event is not possible, you don't draw another card. So you're not getting endless level 1s. Okay, so you've done your level 3. Right?
So this should go back.
And that should go back. You don't.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You've done the level 1 event.
Yeah.
And it just gets discarded if you can't do it.
Right. Okay. So thank you for that. Right. So I've played my card. The Barbarian Overlord has played their card, and now we swap hands. And that's the interesting part about how this game plays in 2-player, is that you've got to be very careful with the cards that you give to your opponent because they're going to get to do them. Right, we're now on to round 2. Oh, that should be discarded. So round 2, I draw a card. Draw 2 cards, in fact. And then it is my go again. Right, now, the reason why I've built these junks is because I want to go on voyages, because going on voyages is what wins you the game, if you get all 7 voyages. Also, remember, some of these cards can only be played if I have done certain voyages. So the more voyages I've done, the more I get to do these cards. Now, if I was to go on a voyage now with the gold that I've got, the chance of it working, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd need to roll a 4 or under on a dice, and you get a number of dice equal to the CP that you spend. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to go on an early voyage, and I'm going to look at what cards are going to get passed to me in a minute. And then what cards might be passed back to me after that. I'm planning ahead 2 turns in advance, which is more than I normally do. So yeah, I'm going to play this card here. Because I can't actually play any of these for the event itself. I'm going to play this card just as 2 command points. Is it command points? Yeah, it's command points, isn't it?
It is command points.
It is command points, right. So with that command point, the action that I'm going to choose is voyage. You choose which voyage you want to go on. You send any number of junks, but you might as well always send all of them. And then you send any amount of gold you want to, but it has to be at least 1. But you're going to lose all of the gold that you spend. So you might, if I had more gold, I might not want to spend all of it. Right, so I have 5 things in total. So I need to roll less than 5. The number of dice I get to roll is equal to the CP that I spent. So I spent 2 CP, which means, I should be rolling the green dice, shouldn't I? Where's the 3rd green dice? It's there.
You should be rolling the green dice.
Yeah, I should be rolling the green dice because I'm the Emperor. Right, and I've rolled a 4 and a 6. So I have been successful. So the gold is spent, and one of the junks stays there on Ceylon. I have successfully done the voyage to Ceylon.
Can I just interrupt? If you had failed, you wouldn't have lost the gold.
Oh,
you
right.
Keep the gold and choose it next turn. Because it's bad enough to fail.
True.
To lose the gold, to fail and lose the gold would be
bad.
terrible.
Right. But
So
if you do succeed, you lose all of the gold that you put in there.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So now the Overlord gets to react. We are a CP card of 2. CP card of 2, according to the difficulty card, is a level 1 event card, and we have amass 1. Take 1 horde from the supply and place it in whichever of West Mongols and Manchus has the fewest hordes. So Western, right. I should have mentioned this at the start. This game is not out yet. This is a prototype. But Alan, on here it says West Mongols, and on the board it says Western Mongols.
Thank you for that.
There you go. Yeah, the game hasn't been finished yet, so any typos like this I'm sure will be fixed. So it's either West Mongols or Manchus, whichever has the fewest hordes. They both have 1, so we're using the tie break, so it goes in the Manchus. There we go. Is that how you pronounce it? Manchus?
That's right. Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Well, I'm not Chinese. So
If anybody's Chinese watching, please let me know. Scott is saying, in solo, do you always play the Emperor? Yes, you do. Have you got plans to possibly do a solo mode for the Barbarian player? Do you think that might work?
We do have a draft Barbarian solo, but
there we go.
The problem is it's not at the moment not as interesting as the Ming one. So we were
right.
And so we're reluctant at the moment. It's something we might get as an expansion later on.
Okay, there you go. Work in progress. So that's the reaction done. Now it is the Overlord's turn. So the Overlord is going to use, well, all of its cards are CP1, so it's going to use the lowest numbered card, which is this one, which is number 1. So this is a 1 CP card, so we're going to get a level 1 event, and we have Attack 1. Choose the most favoured target Ming-controlled borderland. If equal, use the tie break. Now, what is the most favoured one? Does it say? Let's just check the rules before Alan tells me. Most favoured. Because all of this is fully explained in the rule book. He says, attack. No, that's the wrong rules. Here we go. Most favoured target for barbarian attack. For each Ming-controlled borderland, how many hordes can attack? Only pieces in excess of 1 can attack from a borderland, but all hordes can attack from a homeland. Right, so if we look at these areas, Yunnan can only be attacked by 1, whereas Sichuan can be attacked by 2, that can only be attacked by 1, that can only be attacked by 1, and that can be attacked by 2 as well. So we have a potential 2 attacking here and 2 attacking here. Total number of attacking hordes, then subtract the number of troops in the borderland, which is 1 each. Yep.
Hang on. You've got two can attack each one.
Yes.
Oh, and also, I'm sorry. I can't see it clearly. Yes, 2 can attack the other one.
I've got 2 there as well.
You are quite correct.
It's 2 minus 1. So the most favoured target is the one on the right. So it's attacking here. So Liao Dong is being attacked. Right. Move 1 horde from an adjacent homeland or borderland according to the attack priorities into the target borderland, always leaving at least 1 horde behind if it was moving from a borderland. But as I say, they can vacate the homeland, but it is just an attack of 1. So it's going to just move 1 in anyway. And now we resolve the battle. So now we get the exciting part where we get to see how the battle works. Basically, the attacker, which in this case is the barbarians, they are going to roll 3 dice. It's always 3 dice. And you're looking for doubles or triples. Now, if the barbarian player had any cards reserved, it would use them in order to get re-rolls to try and get doubles or triples. It hasn't got that. It has a 2, a 3, and a 6. So that is a weak attack, I think is the correct terminology. I then get to fight. And I have rolled... What have I rolled? I've rolled a 1, a 5, and a 6. And again, if I had any cards, I could have re-rolled. So mine is a weak attack as well, at which point we compare the single highest number of dice, which is a 6 and a 6, which means we bounce off each other. So that was a bit of a skirmish. We shouted some insults at each other, and that's the end of the first combat round. Now we go to the second combat round, because this basically continues until, there's only 1 person left. Alan will interrupt me if I'm getting anything wrong with the rules. Right, we have a 2, a 4 and a 5. Okay, now I'm hoping for a double. And I didn't get a double, but what I did get is my highest dice was a 6. Now, if I'd rolled a double, then that would have been a devastating blow. A double versus a single is a devastating blow, and I would have basically removed 2 cubes from the other side. As it was, whilst we both have a weak attack, my highest dice is higher than that one, which means 1 cube is removed. So that is gone, and that is the end of the Barbarians' attack. All good, Alan?
All good so far, thanks.
Excellent. Right, okay. Now it is the... What was that? That was the Barbarian player's turn, wasn't it? Yeah. So now we swap hands. And you basically play through until Era 1 ends, which is the end of the deck. And then you go again, and then you do Era 2. Right, okay, round 3. I'm drawing 2 cards. And let's see what we have. So I have done Voyages 3 and 4, which means I can now play this card here, which allows me to move 1 horde from a borderland into an adjacent barbarian-controlled borderland. Right, so now that I can do that, that's actually no use because there are no barbarians in the borderlands yet. It would have been really good. Now, I can't go on another voyage because I don't have any gold. Let's get myself some more gold. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to play this card here for 2 CP, and with each of those CP I'm going to get myself a gold. There you go, I've taxed the population to get some gold. Right, now it is the Overlords Response. We have a CP value of 2, which is a level 1 card. Reserve 1. If the Barbarian Overlord has no cards in reserve, it does not, then reserve the played main deck card, which is this one, whether played by the Ming Emperor or the Overlord. Right, so that now goes in reserve. So I'm going to put it there. That's a reserved card. It will use that in combat to boost its combat. There you go. Right.
Perfect.
There you go. Now it is the Barbarians' turn, and we have a card here with a CP value of 3, so it's going to play that one.
You can always tell whose turn it is by how many cards you each got in hand.
Yeah. So if there's 5 cards, it's my turn. If there's 4 cards, it's the Overlord's turn.
That's it.
Yeah. So we're doing a level 3 event, which is reserve 3. If the Barbarian Overlord has up to 2 cards in reserve, it does. Then reserve the played main deck. It's realised, it's clever, this AI. It's realised that fighting it's losing, so it's coming up with a new plan. Reserve the main play deck card, yeah. So it's now got 2 cards in reserve. Okay, there you go. And now we're going to swap hands. So, apologies if there's a bit of background noise. I have the window open because it's quite warm in here today, and there's a car.
Did you?
So there's
was that a level 2? Was that a level 2?
Oh, it was a level 3. Yeah, so we should do a level 1 as well.
Reaction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have a level 1 card as well, which is take a settlement from the supply. Right, there's no settlements in the supply. We're all good. Right. Just checking the chat. The Hexy Beast is here. Hello. And Daryl with 1 R is here as well. Thank you for joining in. And there's a bit of Twitch chat going on as well. Ross is here. Hi, Ross. Thank you for popping in. Except Ross is betting on the Barbarians. Wait a minute, Ross. I thought we were friends. Right. Okay. So I've swapped cards and it's now round 4. Now this game has a fixed number of rounds, doesn't it? Because this deck is a fixed number of cards and you are drawing 2 cards a round. So I think it was, what was it, Alan? Was it 10 rounds for Era 1? I think
it's 10 rounds for
10.
Era 1.
There you go. Right, what we're going to do? Are we going to go on another voyage? So these settlements don't actually attack themselves, do they? It's just the hordes that attack. So I'm not that worried yet because there don't appear to be many hordes massing. But at some point, they will. And I don't know whether to... How much gold is there left here? There's a lot of gold here. I'm tempted to go on another voyage. Yeah, what cards are going to get passed back to me? That one. Yeah, I'm going to go on a voyage. So I'm going to go on a voyage with a... I'm going to use a 2.
Strongly resisting the urge to advise here.
Yes. Why, have I got a...
Keep going. No, keep going, Paul. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I could reserve a card. I am leaving myself a little bit open, but let's take a risk. So I'm playing this card for 2, and I'm going to go on a voyage, and I'm going on a voyage to East Africa with these 3 junks here, and I'm going to send both of the gold. So I get 2 rolls, and I need less than a 5, and I've rolled a 1 and a 4. So that voyage is successful. The gold is spent. Those 2 come back to the South China Sea, and I have now visited East Africa. Okay. Reaction from the Overlord is a level 1 event, which is a mass. Take 1 horde from the supply and place it in either the Western Mongols or the Manchus, whichever has the fewest. They're both the same, so again it goes in the Manchus because that's the tie break, and then we're going to move that across. Right, that was the reaction. Just make sure I put the cards in the right discard piles. Yep. And then it is the Overlord's turn. So we're going to use this one because it's got a CP value of 2, which means we're taking a card from this deck. Reserve 2. If the Barbarian Overlord has 0 or 1 cards in reserve, it does not. So we actually discard this card and take another one. Build 2. Move exactly 2 settlements from the eligible homeland with the most settlements into the adjacent Barbarian-controlled borderland with the fewest hordes. There are none. So discard this card and take another. Move 2. Right. Move up to 2 hordes into the single most favoured adjacent. No, can't do that. Can't move. Skip that one. Amass 2. Right, here we go. Take exactly 2 hordes from the supply. Place 1 in whichever of the Western Mongols or Manchus has the fewest hordes, which is that one. Place the second horde in East Mongols, which is in the middle. There we go. Right, so now, and that was a level 2 event. So we now resolve the level 1 event as well. Move 1 settlement from the eligible homeland into the most, with the most settlements into the adjacent Barbarian-controlled borderland. None. And because that was the second card, it doesn't trigger. Right, that gets discarded. Card swap. And off we go for round 5, I think it is. So I'm playing on the easy difficulty level. Alan, what do you think my chances of success are?
I think they look pretty good from here.
Okay. So easy is the one recommended for new players, but somebody
easy is to familiarise you with how the solo game works, and then you can step up the difficulty level dramatically.
Right, my go. Now, I'm starting to get worried now by all of these hordes amassing at my borders. So one of the things I can do is I can recruit troops, but troops that I recruit will actually go into my homeland, and then I've got to move them out as a separate thing. So yeah, we are going to recruit. We're going to play this card. No, hang on a minute. Let's just have a look at, I can do 1, 3 and 4. Okay, no, I can't do the voyage because I haven't got any gold. Never mind. Right, I'm going to play that card and I'm going to recruit 2 troops into the homeland. There we go. The reaction is a level 1 event, which is attack 1. Right, so the most favoured Ming-controlled borderland. Right, let's have a look at this again, because I think it is this one, because the Sichuan, it can be attacked by 4 things. So that is the most favoured one, but it is only an attack 1. So I'm going to move 1 horde from an adjacent homeland or borderland, according to the attack priorities. So I think I can choose which one I'm going to move in, and I'm going to move in the one from... I'm going to move in one from the Western Mongols. Is that right?
Technically, it's a tie break.
Oh, is it? Right. Okay, I can't choose.
Right. You can't choose. It's equal.
Okay. So, so it is going from the one I wanted to. There you go. Thank you. And now we have an attack. So this is the... Oh, and the deck is empty, so we reshuffle it. Yeah, this is still the reaction to my actual main action. Okay, right. So, attacks. Now, here we go. I think I might lose this one. Bearing in mind there are 2 cards here in reverse. So, first of all, the attacker rolls and gets a 2, 4 and a 6. Now, this is the bit I skimmed over very quickly in the rules, but I think it's basically, it's going to use its cards. It will accept any double or triple that they get with their first roll and not use any reserved cards. If they did not get a double or triple, they will use their top reserved card to re-roll all the dice.
That's
interesting. Correct. Interesting. It doesn't keep the 6.
No, it automatically goes for a double or triple.
Right. Okay.
So doesn't keep that either.
So it's rolling all of the dice, and it's got a 1, 3 and a 5, which means it will keep re-rolling until it gets a double or a triple. So there's the second reserved card. We want a 1, 2 and a 3, please. Oh, we got a 3 and a 4 and a 4. So it's rolled a double. Okay. So it has a medium strength attack. Now, I can't...
It also has... Was that a 1 CP or a 2 CP?
What's that? Oh, you get a number of re-rolls equal to the cards, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Sorry. Yeah, it's not just 1 card for a re-roll, is it? It's 1 card gets you the CP value.
I can't see the numbers very well.
Yeah. So it's got a double, and it's still got 1 re-roll left. Will it re-roll the 3 to try and get a triple?
It will try and get a triple.
Yes. So it keeps the double 4, and now it's using its last re-roll. It's got a 5. But at this point, it won't use the second card. It'll accept the double. There you go. Yeah. Right. Okay. So it's accepted the double. It's got a 4, 4 and a 5. I basically need a double 4 and a 6 or a triple. And I've rolled a double 6. I love dice games.
Better lucky than good, Paul.
Yeah. Well, it's more luck than when I played against Paull, I think. So there we go. That's gone. Yes. Right. Nice. Take that, Mr. Overlord player. Right. It is now the Overlord's turn, and we're playing this card, which is a level 3 event, which is build 3, which it can't do. No, it can't do the build 3. So we get another one instead. Move 3, which it can't do. Basically, we're looking for an attack card, I think, or an amass. It's an amass. Take exactly 3 hordes from the supply, put 1 in each barbarian overland. Right, now I'm in trouble. Because as soon as the attack 3s come out, they're going to actually sweep in. Now, I still do the level 1 event, don't I, Alan?
Yes, you do.
Right.
Because it's the Overlord. It's the... so, no, hang on. You're doing the Barbarians Turn, aren't you?
I'm doing the Barbarians Turn.
Yes.
But the first 2 cards were discarded with no effect.
Do the level 1 then, yeah.
Okay. Take 1 settlement from the supply. Not possible. Right.
That's it.
That was that card. Yes, that was that card. So that's there. That's there. We swap hands. And here we go. I'm going to draw 2 cards, and it is now my go. So I've got my troops in the homeland, albeit only 2 of them. I can move them into the borderlands by playing a card for CP and moving them. I might wait until I find out which one is lost. I've got plenty more troops in my reserve here. Let's have a look at my cards. That one's not going to do me any good. That one's not going to do me any good, and that one's not going to do me any good. Let's play... Yeah, I can see how this works now. Because I'm playing on easy, I can safely play a level 2 card, and it's still only an event 1. And there's also reserving. Maybe I should be reserving.
Yeah, the Barbarian is likely to do another attack before the end of the first era.
It is. So I think I'm going to reserve this 3 card here, which is... Oh, yeah, I mean, that's a 3 card, but that's going to give me 3 re-rolls in combat. Question in the YouTube chat. When is the retail release of this? But the first question is when a backer's going to get it.
Well, we're still on course for July,
Right.
but of course the current situation is difficult.
Yeah.
So it really depends on whether distribution can still happen at the same pace as normal.
Right.
That's probably our critical bit.
Yeah.
For example, it's quite possible that the government might just decide that we have to close down courier services or something like that, which
Yep.
And but we're still on course for July.
Right.
For the backers.
Yep.
Retail release will be as soon as possible after backers have got it. So
right.
Similar scale.
There you go. So when I reserve a card, is there still an Overlord reaction?
No Overlord reaction.
I didn't think there was. So no Overlord reaction. Right. Overlord's turn. We have 4 cards all with 1. So we're going to use the highest numbered one because that cube is on the right. So we're going to go for card number 25, which is a 1 CP card. So we get a level 1 event, which is reserve 1. If the Barbarian card has no cards in reserve, it does have a card in reserve. So we get rid of that. And we'll have a different one, which is attack 1. Right, so I'm being attacked. Now I think Sichuan is still the area that's got the most. Yeah, 5 can attack it. So it's definitely there that's going to be attacked. And it's going to move in from... now, does it move in from the one that's got the most cubes? Let's have a look. Attack. According to the attack priorities, the most favoured is done. Is the one with the most cubes.
Evenly from homeland, starting with the homeland with the most hordes.
Right, okay. So 1 goes in from there to there. And we are now doing an attack of 1. They've got 1 card in reserve. I've got 1 card in reserve. The dice have been with me so far. Let's see what happens. The attack is a 2, 4 and a 6. So this card is getting discarded. It's got 2 CPs on it. So the first thing it does is it spends 1 of them to do a reroll and gets a 111. Okay, so it's going to stick with that. I'm in trouble. I need a triple. And we've got, I've got a 1, a 2 and a 2. So if I wanted to, I could play this for 3 rerolls to try and get a 2 on that dice, which basically means I've got a 1 in 6 chance 3 times. I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to save that. I'm just going to take the loss. So that was a devastating blow because it's got a triple. I only got a double, which means I lose 2 cubes, but I've only got 1. So that goes. There we go. Right. That was the Barbarians player's turn, I believe. Yes. So we're now swapping cards.
Don't forget to put the card played in the discard. That's
that one.
Yeah, that's better because then you know exactly where you're in.
Okay, my go. So drawing 2 cards. Right, here we are. So yeah, this voyage here, this card allows me to move barbarians around, but only to adjacent barbarian controlled borderlands. Don't have any of them. Aha. Nice. I think we're going to cause a little bit of famine. So I am going to play this card and I'm going to use it for the effect, which I'm allowed to do because I have done a voyage to Arabia. So this is the barbarians lose up to 3 hordes from one region chosen by the Ming Emperor. So they are all going to go. Unfortunately, there's been famine, struck the region, and they all died. However, the reaction of the barbarians to that is take 2 hordes from the supply. Yeah, thought so. So one's going to go there, one's going to go there. Tiebreaker wasn't used because that had the fewest in. Except we've now got 3 hordes in the eastern. Oh. Right, that was the reaction done. Now on the Overlords turn, we're going to use this card, which is one from here, which is attack 2. Oh, he's getting me revenge for the famine. So the most favoured target is now, so 3 could attack here, 4 could attack here. It's this one. It's Gansu. Move up to 2 hordes from adjacent homelands or borderlands according to the attack priorities. So presumably, Alan, it moves from homelands first. It wouldn't vacate a borderland.
It doesn't vacate a borderland.
Yeah. So 2 go in there. And let's resolve the battle. Okay. So it's got 2 against my 1. I do, however, have a card in reserve. So the attacker, and it doesn't. So it's stuck with this roll. It's got a 1, a 2, and a 6. Okay. So if I get a double, then I'm all right, and I've defeated both of them. And I've got, yeah, there you go. I've got a 2, 2, and a 5. The dice are definitely with me. I'm going to the casino tonight, I think, with this luck. Oh no, wait a minute. Can't do that. So yeah, I don't need to use my reserve card. Devastating blow. 2 barbarians gone. Take that, Mr. Barbarian. And that was the reaction. Yes, that was the reaction. So we're still doing the level 1 event as well, which is move 1, which it can't do. Move a horde into, oh no, it can. Move 1 horde into the most favoured adjacent. Go on.
Hang on. If you're doing the reaction, don't forget you don't do a level 1.
Oh, you don't.
It's only in the Barbarians turn you do.
Yep, thank you. It's now the Barbarians turn, and or was it the Barbarians turn? Oh, I've forgotten where I'm up to. What did I do on my turn? I played the famine card. Yeah, I think it was the Barbarians turn. I think on my turn I played the famine card. I forgot to move that card to there. Yeah. I played the famine card. As a reaction it did a mass, and then on its turn it did an attack. So I think we're right. I think it's this one.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, so move 1. So move 1 horde into the most favoured adjacent empty or barbarian controlled borderland, which is this one. It can be moved from an adjacent homeland or an adjacent borderland. So it moves from here, where there is the most, into there. There you go. Right, and now we're swapping hands. We're getting near the end of Era 1. That goes 2 cards. There are 4 cards left in the pile. So.
Good.
Dear. Right. So, do we try and take that back? I mean, I could, but I possibly could do other stuff instead. Let's just check my cards. Right, I can't do any of that because I don't have any gold. I'm going to need some more junks by the end of the game as well. I can't do that. Okay, we're going to play this card for 2 CP. Now, what am I going to do with that 2 CP?
One thing that's useful to do is to try to take advantage of what your opponent may be forced to play.
Right.
So that you can get some reactions. Because I don't think you've had any reactions yet, have you? So you can when he plays a card, for example, you know that next turn he's going to play that 2 affluence. you haven't actually got the 2 voyage done, so you can't actually take advantage.
I've actually been completely forgetting about that.
You need to set that up, really.
Yeah, I've been forgetting about that because this card is not actually resolved. You always draw that. So I've not been doing the reactions. Have I been missing that bit? I
haven't noticed it, but I'm looking at it on Skype mainly.
You are looking at it on a low-res camera, so yes, I
think you've been mainly okay.
Emperor's reaction. Yeah, it's in the rules. If the Emperor has an action available on the main deck card. Right, so apologies for those people watching. I may have missed something, but when the Barbarian player chooses what card to play, if there's a bit on the bottom that matches a voyage that I've done, I get to do it as well. So thank you for that. You're right. It's going to do that card. I know it's going to do that card, but I don't currently have one there. Okay, so we're playing on slightly harder than easy level because I've been forgetting to do that bit. Anyway, what am I doing? I'm doing this. I've played 2 and I am taking 2 gold.
I think that's a good choice because you need to be able to take advantage of barbarian actions which give you voyages. Yeah. Well, actually, they can theoretically.
Okay, so
theoretically give you voyages if they do a 1. Look at the leftmost barbarian card, the East Africa one. Make a voyage with run roll, deducting 1 from the result. Yes,
exactly.
You would get that if you had gold drugs.
Yeah. So I'm going to put the card here so we know it's my turn and that's the card I played. Barbarian's reaction is a level 1 event, which is attack 1. So the most favoured target is now 3 can go into here, -1. 3 can go into here, -1. And everything else is 1. So it's going to be either that one or that one. And the tiebreak is on the right, so it's going for this one. So we move the tiebreak to the left. And it's moving in, as you say, they don't leave borderlands, so it's moving in from there. It is doing an attack 1 into there. Right. And the attack dice is bounced out, so it doesn't count. That's a 1 and a 4 and a 6. Okay, so that's a weak attack. My attack, or my defense, is a 4, 5 and a 6. So I could re-roll if I want to, but I'm not all that bothered. So the 6s compare and we bounce off each other. Second combat round. Oh, it's rolled 2 1s and a 2. So it's got a double. Right, here we go. Let's see what I can get. I've rolled a 1, 2 and a 4. So I think, in this case, I am going to use my card. So I'm going to use my card for 3 re-rolls. I'm going to keep the 4. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to re-roll these 2. There's another 4. So that'll do. I've got a double. Oh no, it's got a double. Yeah, that's fine. I've got a double, it's got a double. But my double is higher than its double, so 1 cube is removed. There you go.
That's called a normal blow.
A normal blow, right. Yeah. And that was its reaction to my card. So now on its turn, it chooses this one. Which is a 2, so it's the card from here, which is attack 2. Yeah, now all the attack cards are coming out. So, it's here. It's Yunnan that is being attacked, because 3 can get on there. So, move up to 2 hordes from adjacent homelands or borderlands. So it'll move that one in, and it will also move that one in. But it would never vacate a borderland completely, but it will vacate a homeland. Okay, so this is being resolved. And then after this, we're going to do a level 1 event as well. So 2 against 1, its attack. I should have saved my dice for this. I should have saved my reserve card for this. It's got a 3, 4 and a 6 with no re-rolls possible. Come on, dice. Yes, I got a double. So again, I got a double. It didn't get a double, so it loses 2 cubes. Yeah, I think I've been quite lucky with these dice, Alan. That's gone all right.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Sometimes you don't. So that's that resolved, and now we get a level 1 event as a secondary event, which is a mass 1. So it's going back to lick its wounds. West Mongols. There you go. Right. End of the round. Swap hands. And draw 2 cards. Right. Now, as soon as I complete 4 voyages, the difficulty level switches. So it's whether I hang off on that or not. And do I do other stuff first? I think I might do other stuff first. But as you say, let's look at what's going on over here. So the Barbarian is going to play this card, which is going to let me to do a reaction to that, which is going to be make a voyage. So I think I'm going to play a... Ooh. Oh. I could do that. I could do that. It's not got many hordes left. It's got all these settlements. It's spent all of its time gathering the resources to build settlements, but it can't actually get in there much. If I did a voyage now, it would be 4. So I'd need to roll a 3 or less. No. Let's play this card for 2 CP, and I'm going to take 2 more troops. Just to be on the safe side. Right, reaction is a level 1 event. Oh, I just noticed the level 2 events are out. So we get a level 1 event, which is a mass 1. So it's taking this and it's going to put it in the Western Mongols. Tidebreaker shifts. Okay. Now it is the Barbarians' turn, and they're going to do this, which is a level 3 event. Attack 3. Okay, right. So it's Yunnan that's going to get attacked, and it's moving it now. So Alan, it won't move in from this, even though it's an attack 3. It's only going to move in with those 2. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It always holds onto borderlands with its last.
Yeah. So it's attacking me. Neither of us have got any cards in reserve. That's what I should have done. I should have reserved a card. It's rolled a double, so it's not looking good. And I didn't roll a double, so my cube has gone, and that is 2 of the borderlands lost. And then it's doing a level 1 event. Yeah, because it's doing this card, isn't it? And the level 1 event is build 1. Right, finally, it's going to get to do something. Move 1 settlement from the eligible homeland with the most settlements, which is here, into the adjacent barbarian-controlled borderland with the fewest hordes. That's here. There you go. Done.
That's correct.
Now, remind me what these settlements do. Is it they're just harder to get rid of in combat?
They are. When you do a combat, if it's a normal blow against the barbarians, they ignore it.
Bounces off.
If it's a devastating blow, it just removes the settlement. Doesn't take any hordes off.
So it's kind of like got 1 point of armor.
Yeah, it's effectively it's an extra.
Okay. Now I get to do a response to that, which is because I've got I've done voyage number 1, so I can make a voyage with up to 3 rolls, deducting 1 from each result. Yes. So I am going to try and go to the Persian Gulf. Now, do I want to spend 2 gold or 1? I'm getting 3 rolls, but if I only send 1 gold, that means I need a 2. So no, I'm going to send 2 gold. I get 3 rolls, deducting 1 from each. And yeah, one of them is a 2, so we're absolutely fine. The gold goes, that goes back, and we have now done 4 voyages, which means immediately... immediately this card flips over. Again, this is determined by the difficulty setting. Okay, right, and that is the end of its go. Those come to me, those go over there, and I now draw the remaining 2 cards from the deck. So when does the era end? After this turn?
It ends after this turn, yes.
After this turn. Okay, so what am I going to do? So if the game was to end now, I've got a minor victory because I've done the requisite number of voyages and I have more borderlands than the barbarian player. However, it's not looking good here. We need cards that allow me to move things around. I'm going to...
Can you predict what the Barbarian will do?
Ah, yes, that's what I should be doing. So the Barbarian player is going to be using all cards of CP1. So it's going to be using the highest numbered 1 card, which is going to be this one. And I will be able to respond to that, which allows me to move a horde from a borderland into an adjacent Barbarian controlled borderland. So I can basically move these around a little bit. It's not major, but if I'm planning a counter attack, then it could be useful. I mean, this is nasty, but I can't use that yet. I can't use any of those. I could use this to take 2 gold. Let's do... Ooh. I do need some more junks at some point as well. I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to use this card as the bottom ability. Because I've done the Voyage to the Persian Gulf, I get to take 2 gold. And then as a reaction to that, the Overlord player gathers 1. So it takes a settlement from the supply. It can't do that.
Hang on.
Yep.
The Barbarian doesn't get a reaction. Because there's no action there. There's no reaction to a level 1. The card you just played hasn't got a Barbarian reaction on it.
Oh, I thought it always reacted.
No. If it's got only if it gets a Barbarian. Only if there is actually a Barbarian event on it.
Oh.
It says no action.
Yeah.
It doesn't act, yeah.
I thought the card was ignored.
No.
No. If the main deck card that the Ming Emperor plays has an available Barbarian reaction on it. Ah, yeah. Right. Okay. So
it doesn't get one.
Nice.
Which can be a good thing.
Yeah, I think I might have got that wrong earlier on then. So if it says no action, it doesn't actually get one.
It doesn't get.
There you go.
I didn't spot you getting it wrong.
Okay. Okay. Good. So now it's the Overlord's turn, and we're using this card because it's the highest numbered CP1 card. And it's drawing a card from the 1 deck, which is the Gather 1. It can't gather 1 because there's no settlements in the supply. So it amasses. And it amasses in the Western Mongols. And then the reaction is this. So I can move 1 horde from a borderland into an adjacent Barbarian controlled borderland. So I could move this one out of Sichuan and leave the settlement there on its own. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
Okay, that's what I'll do. Whether that's the right thing to do or not.
That's not bad. That's not a bad thing to do.
And then we swap hands, and that is the end of the first era. So, setting up for the next era, what do? We just shuffle the deck, don't we?
You shuffle the deck. If there were only reserved cards left, they would also get shuffled into the deck.
Yes.
That's the important thing. So if you do have reserved cards, it's always best to use them in an attack before the end of the era.
Right.
Now, the difference in the second era is that when you get to the end of the second era, you keep playing when all the deck's gone until all the cards have gone.
All the cards are gone. So I'm not keeping a close eye on the chat because I'm concentrating on the game, but there's quite a few people in there. So thank you very much for joining in. And it looks like the chat is quite healthy. People are chatting about stuff. So yeah, if you need anything from me, give me a shout at the end. But yeah, I won't see any messages in the chat during the game. Okay, right. We are now in the second era. Off we go. Draw 2 cards. So.
Apologies if I missed anything in the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat and.
Yes, and the game.
It's quite tricky.
Right. I need some more junks. I definitely need some more junks if I'm going to try and get this 7 victory, which I think is probably what I'm going to try and aim for now because I'm starting to lose the battle here. Although I do have these 4 troops here. Maybe I could move and start reinforcing these areas. Let's just have a look on when I attack. Yeah, I could attack and I could move these 3 in there. That might work. But I probably should reserve a card first before I do that. Oh, what should I do? Get the gold. Yeah, let's try and go for that first. Let's try and get the gold and the junks and do that. So
Somebody has
looking at
just
my
commented,
cards.
Paul, that your video is covering the leftmost card.
Oh, it
Is
is.
it possible to adjust that? I don't know.
There you go. Thank you. I'd forgotten that. There we go. The leftmost card is Arabia, which I can do. Barbarians lose a horde. Oh, that's the famine. No, I'm going to use this 3. And I'm going to take 3 junks. Oh, there's not 3 junks. There's only 2. That's a bit of a waste. I'll wait till I get a 2 for that. There is 3 gold, however. And I am... No. Right.
As your strategic advisor,
Yes.
I would go for the 3 gold.
Go for the 3 gold.
Four reserves. You've still got 3. You still got 3 borderlands.
Yeah.
And if you want to push for the 7, you've got to take a bit of a...
The reason I was nervous about taking the 3 gold is I remember from playing this 2-player that the Overlord has cards which basically lose all of my gold.
They don't have that in
the solo game. Right, no. There you go. That's what I was remembering.
Yeah, you're safe.
Okay, so we have a reaction of a level 2 event. So this is the Barbarians reaction, which is a mass 2. Take 2 hordes. It's going to put one of them in the Western Mongols and the other one in the Eastern Mongols. Right, that was the reaction. So that card has gone. And now it is playing either politics or raids, and it's going to be the highest numbered one, which is going to be politics, which means unfortunately I don't get to do the reaction. So it's playing that. We have a level 3 event, which is attack 3. Now this is actually okay for me because this attack 3 is actually only going to be an attack 1. Because it can only move in 1 from there to there, or it can move in, from there to there, or from there to there. So these 3 are all tie break. So it's going to go for the one on the right hand side, it's going to go into Liaodong. There you go. And that one moves into there, and that one goes there. So we are resolving a battle. We're going to get one of these afterwards. I'm just going to put it there to remind me. So the battle starts. Neither of us have got any reserved cards. It's rolled a 2, 4 and a 6. Just need a double to survive. I got a double 6. Nice. Right, so that's that gone. Pesky horde. That was the level 3 event being resolved. So we now resolve a level 1 event, which is an attack of 1. Right. So this is either here or here. And it's going to be this one because of the tie-break rules. So we're doing another attack.
I have total faith in your well-drilled troops.
Now, do I lose the game immediately if I lose all of my borderlands?
You do, yes.
Right. Okay, well, it rolled a double, so I might have to go with a different plan and try and get something back. And I have not rolled a double. So that is me knocked out of there. Yeah. So if it takes this borderland, I lose the game immediately. And I can't do a reaction to that. That is the end of that go. So now, yeah, we need a slightly different plan. I don't think I'm going to get these 7 voyages done before I get battered to bits. So we can fight back by playing a card and basically going in there and trying to take something back. And if I take back Liaodong, there's no troops anywhere here. All the troops are over on the western side. So that will work. The other option, where's my famine cards? My famine cards have gone. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play this card, which is a 3, and I'm going to move these 3 troops into there. Okay, right. So there is a battle. I am the attacker. Let's see what we get. I've rolled a 4 and 2 5s. And it rolled a 1, 3, 5. So, devastating blow. That is dead. I've taken back the borderland of Liaodong.
Yeah, somebody has pointed out in the chat that I think you removed your own cube instead of the horde, because you actually won that battle. One of the battles you actually won it. You didn't lose it.
Ah.
That'll be the thing. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's all right. That's me getting confused. So if I do that, I think that's us good. No. If they're saying that I removed...
I think you won. Didn't you win Liaodong? I think you won it.
When? Earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So they shouldn't have gone into there. So that should be mine. And now I'm going into there. Okay. There you go. I think I fixed it. Thank you for that. I got confused between green and white then, because I never play green in games. And I sometimes play white. So, but I think that's fixed it. I didn't need to do that attack, but I have done that attack anyway. So now we're looking at the reaction of the barbarians to that devastating attack that I've just dealt them, which is to amass, take 3 hordes from the supply and put 1 in each. There you go. Thank you for that, Cameron. The right area should be green, in the middle 3 green. Yeah, I think we're good now. So that was the reaction. And now it is the barbarians' turn. So all of the cards are CP value 1, so it's going with the one with the highest number, which is Rumour. So it's playing this card. And it's getting to do a level 1 event, which is a mass 1, which is going in the Manchus. There you go. And I get to do the bottom bit, which I don't want to do. It's just moving hordes around, and yeah, I don't want to do that. Right, okay, we're swapping hands. I think we're all good. Yeah, that's fixed it. Peter's here in the chat. Thank you very much. So yeah, I didn't need to do that, but that has given me an extra bit of safety net.
Yeah, I feel I should apologise for that. The trouble is the Skype's quite blurry, and I can't actually...
So Alan's watching this on a secondary feed so that he's got a live feed, but the Skype broadcast is such low quality, it is hard to see what's going on. Yeah. If it helps, Alan, I can actually zoom in the Skype feed a bit.
That would help, actually.
There you go. Right, we've zoomed in that.
Okay, thanks.
My go. Ooh, make a voyage, deducting 1 from the result with no action from the other player. That seems quite nice. I do only have 1 junk, but I need to get some more junks at some point. But that's fine. Let's do that. Now, what's it going to play? It's going to be playing that one, which is that. Okay, so I am going to go and do a voyage, and it's going to be voyage number 7. I'm making 1 roll and deducting 1 from the result. Okay, so the chance of this working are slim. Let's send 3 gold. So that's a 4. So I'm rolling, minusing 1 from the result. And I rolled a 1. There you go. So I didn't need to send all of that. But success. No action for the... So no reaction for the barbarians. Then the Overlord's turn, it plays this card. And I am now going to do my reaction. So it's going to do this, which is build 2. So it's going to move exactly 2 settlements from the eligible homeland with the most settlements into the adjacent barbarian-controlled borderland with the fewest hordes, which is this one. This is barbarian-controlled. It has the fewest hordes. So it's going to move in from here, and it moves those in there. So there are 3 settlements now in that area. So I've definitely lost that. And then we get to do a level 1 event as well. Reserve 1, so it reserves this card, but we'll do that in a minute because I'm getting to do that, which is I get to look at the top 5 cards of the discard pile and take a 2 CP card and play the Ming Empire event. There isn't one. Rats. Okay, that was bad planning. I did all of that and there isn't a 2 CP card in the discard pile. Ah, it's a shame. So that's the one it's reserved. That is the end of the round, and we swap hands. Okay. Yeah.
If it's reserved, you don't get the event. You don't get the action. You don't get the reaction if it reserves it.
Oh right, I wouldn't have got it anyway.
No.
Okay.
Just reserve the card. A reserved card is just turned straight over. And
oh, of course, because it's not playing it, is it?
It's not playing it. No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just make sure that's in the rule book. I'm not saying it isn't, but just make sure it is. That if it reserves okay, it's in there.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, my go. 2 cards. So we're on 5 voyages. We've done 5. Getting the other voyages is going to be a little tricky now. But I think I've got to try and do it. So we're going to play this card, 2 CP, to get my remaining 2 junks. And you never lose your junks. And once you've got them all, that's that. The Barbarian player is reacting with a level 2 event, which is a mass 2. So we're taking 1 and we're putting it in the Manchus and 1 in the Eastern Mongols. That is my go done. And then on its go, it's using this card, which is a level 3 card. Attack 3. Gulp. Right.
Yeah, they can see that you're doing quite well there.
Yeah, it's coming to Liaodong with 3. Okay, so I'm probably going to lose it this time. I mean, it's got a... Yeah, this is its turn, isn't it? So that should be there. That's there. Right, okay. So it's attacking and it has a card in reserve. And it's rolled a 3, 4, 5. So it's going to use the card. It's got 2 CP on it, so it's got 2 re-rolls. The first re-roll, it's rolled a double 6 and a 1. So it keeps the double 6. Then it rolls the 1 and gets a 3. So there you go. It's got a double 6. I need a double 7. Come on, double 7. I've rolled a 1, a 2 and a 4. Yeah. So that didn't go well. I lose 2 cubes. I only have 1. And this time I'm going to remove the right cube. There we go. Yeah, Cameron's saying use the box lid as a dice tray. You can, but I've got this very nice dice tray from Jason Dinger in the States. So he made this for me. So thank you very much, Jason. But it is very bouncy. It's put extra bounce in it. Right, that was the attack 3. We still have another 1, which is build. Move 1 settlement from the eligible homeland with the most settlements, that's here, to the one with the... It's built another settlement. Wow, look at that. It's built a city. Right, and that's its go done. So, swap hands. It's getting a bit tense now. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried by all of these white cubes. Okay, 2 cards. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to the end of the era. I think I'm going to either win or lose the game before that. Right, let's try and predict what it's going to do. It's going to do this one. Is that going to help me? No. So the reaction of that is not going to help me. Oh, I've got a card here that shouldn't be here. Right. Now, do I have... I have famine, but I think it's too late for that. Just going to go on some voyages. Just going to get some gold. I think we're going to get some gold. I think I'm going to play a 3 card and get myself 3 gold and just try and get there quick. So it's reacting to that with a level 2 event, which is move 2. So it moves up to 2 hordes into the single most favoured adjacent enemy or barbarian controlled borderland. Okay, so at this point it's going to be moving probably into here. So Alan, just let me know what happens here. Does it move into Sichuan?
Right, the priorities are empty borderlands if there are any. There aren't any, so you can ignore the empty borderlands.
Yep.
Barbarian controlled borderlands adjacent to the most troops in borderlands.
These 2. Yep.
So it's going to move. It's going to move. If any priority is tied, use the tie break. So
okay.
It's actually going to move. It's borderlands adjacent to the most troops.
So there's 3 in the Western Mongols.
So it's going to move. So
but there's also 3 here. Oh no, but you can't move from there. Yeah. So I think it's moving 2 from the Western Mongols into Yunnan.
Yeah, it moves X hordes from one region, homeland or borderland, into one empty or barbarian controlled borderland. So it will move. Technically it will move evenly. So it will move 1 from Yunnan and 1 from Western Mongols.
Oh, so it's moving into Sichuan.
No, into Sichuan. Yeah,
Right, okay, so it's moving
Sichuan.
one from there and one from there.
Yeah.
That's a very busy place now. Oh yeah, so it's moving, right, gotcha. Right, that was that. That was its reaction. So now on its turn, it plays this card and it does this event, which is to take exactly 3 hordes from the supply. There are not 3 hordes in the supply. So we discard that card and we do another one, which is the same. So we discard that one and we do another one, which is attack 3. Okay, so the most favoured place now, so it can get 4 into Gansu.
I've just realised I actually did that wrong. So
Okay.
I should correct that immediately. Brilliant. When it moves, it's simpler than I said. Basically, it moves from one region
I thought so,
into
yeah.
one borderland. So, and it always prioritises homelands over borderlands. So basically, we'll have moved
2 into Yunnan.
as you said, from Western. That's it. It'll move
Into Yunnan,
from the
which is a
west.
terrible move tactically, but
Yes, but actually,
go.
that's what it does.
that's what it does. Right, okay. Now it's attacking 3, which is 3, I think. Well, it can get 5 into there. It can get 2 from there and 3 into there, so that's what it does. So it goes 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is its turn with its attack card. So first attack. It's rolled 2, 3 and a 6. And I've rolled, I need a double. I really need a double. I got a double. I got a 2, 2 and a 4. So I got a devastating blow on it. 2 cubes are removed. Nice. Next round of combat. It got a 1, 4, 5. And I got a 2, 5, 6. So I win. Huzzah! Whew. That was close. So that was its turn, its attack card, which means it also gets a level 1 event, which is to move. So again, at this point, it's moving from the Western Mongols, and this time it's moving into Yunnan. Yeah, okay. There we go. That's that done. Right, I survived. That card goes. I'm going to shuffle these and then we're going to swap hands. Right.
I think you meant into Sichuan, didn't you?
I did, yes. It's moved into there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because that was the cube was on the right hand side. Okay, so next round. It's got to be voyage time. Yeah, so
It would have been a lot. It would have been a lot tenser if you'd lost that area.
Oh yeah, if I'd lost that area, yeah, then it'd be like. Although I do have 3 in here, I have 3 in Gansu, and there's no hordes in the Eastern Mongols. They've all gone over to Yunnan for the party. I sent them all.
They can attack from Yunnan, of course. As well, that one can attack from Yunnan. Yeah.
You mean Sichuan?
Attack from, Sichuan.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Yunnan's all the way over here.
Sorry, Sichuan. They can attack from Sichuan.
Yeah. These 5 are all having a rave party. I sent them all an email telling them to, meet there. Right. So, yeah, voyages. That's what we're doing, and I need big numbers so I have as many rolls as possible. So let's just. What's it going to do? It's going to do that. Right, I'm playing this one and I'm going to go on a voyage and I'm going to have 2 rolls. And it's going to be to India. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to send 2 gold. It's a little bit of a risk. But I need less than 4 and I've got 2 dice. So there's a 75% chance that I'll do it. Okay. I got a 2. So yes, that voyage is successful. That is 6 of the 7 voyages completed. The reaction from the Overlorded player is a level 2 card, which is attack 2. Okay, so it's attacking me. Yeah, there's only 1 that can get in there, so it's attacking me from Liaodong. So those 2. But you're saying that it would never give up
uses
the
the last
borderland.
one. Not from the borderland, no.
It just sends 1.
Just says one, yeah.
Right, we're having a battle.
As long as they're not elite, you're probably okay.
Yeah. So 1, 2, and a 4. And I got a double 4. Yeah, dice have been with me tonight. So that's gone. That goes. Now it is the Barbarians' turn. They're playing this card, which is this, which is reserve 2. So it reserves that card. And then a level 1 event is gather. It can't gather, so we don't do it because that was the secondary event.
That's correct.
Right. Swap hands. I'm going for the win.
Yeah, you've got to go for it now.
I've got to. Yeah. That's why I only sent 2 gold last time. That shouldn't be there. I'm putting cards back in the wrong place. There we go. Right. I have a 3, so I'm going to use it. We're going to use the 3 to go on this voyage here. I've got 3 dice, and I need any of them to be less than 4. And is it an immediate win?
It is an immediate win, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Got a 1, a 2, and a 4.
Hurrah.
Immediate win. Huzzah. There you go. That's fantastic. Yeah. So I was a little bit slow at getting going. There was a couple of rules that I was potentially misplaying, but now that I've worked them out, it flowed a lot quicker after that.
Yeah, I mean, I've played this a lot, as you'd expect, and I can do a game in under half an hour easily.
How long was that?
About 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was an hour and 20.
Yeah, but then there was quite a lot of...
There was learning and there was a bit of discussion and everything else. So yeah, so Alan can play it in about half an hour. I'd probably be able to play a game in about 45 minutes. And as mentioned, that was the easiest difficulty setting. What happens if you are still watching with the next difficulty setting up is, instead of them starting like this, they start at 1, 2, and 2. So they start with what happened to it halfway through the game. What that means is whenever you play a 2 CP card that's got a reaction, they're drawing it from the level 2 deck instead of the level 1 deck. The hard setting starts off at 1, 2, 3. And then there's a brutal setting, which starts off again at 1, 2, 3, but then halfway through changes to 2, 2, 3. Whereas the hard setting doesn't actually change during the game once you get to 4 voyages.
Also, the brutal setting, you have to get 7 voyages. You have to get 7 voyages.
You have to get 7.
So really, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's exceptionally hard.
Also, there's an extra bit here, additional challenges. So once you've beaten that, you can actually do an additional challenge and you can remove troop losses from the game. So every time a troop dies, it's gone. You can't get it back. There we go. Right. Well, thank you very much, Alan, for sending this. And thank you for being in the chat and for helping out with the rules. And thank you very much to everybody for watching on YouTube and on Twitch. I can see the activity is quite busy. So I'm just going to go over to the chat now and see if we've got any questions for either of us. Paul Luxton, who's my regular opponent, he says he prefers this to Cousins War. Are you able to have a favourite, Alan, out of the 2?
I think I prefer this actually to Cousins War as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I do. I'm to be fair. Well, I find it quite addictive now. Even though I'm co-authored it, I still find it quite addictive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Cousins War is a great little game. This is kind of built on it and has wrapped some extra bits into it. But the core card play mechanism is the really clever bit. Is, you know, you're playing the card for your bit, but then there's another bit on there that the other player might get to do, but then you're swapping hands and it's like, oh man. So, you know, you can give them that knowing that you're going to be able to react to it when they play it.
A lot of it is about how well you can seed your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
You're trying to force them to play things that are advantageous to you. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of coup of it. If you can actually force them to, for example, if you're the Ming Emperor, you can actually force your opponent to play a card which gets you gold or jumps or voyages.
Yes.
That's really very, very strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, I hope you found it useful. As I say, if you want to see the 2-player game, that is on my channel. I'll put a link in the show notes of this one, or you could just Google it. But yeah, there is a 2-player playthrough of this game if you wanted to see that. But this was the solo game with me playing the Emperor, and Alan has said that they are working on another solo version where you can play the Barbarian player, but that's not ready yet, is it, Alan?
That's not ready yet. No, we're still working on making sure it's as interesting as the main. That's the
yeah.
But thanks very much for playing that, Paul.
No, it was good. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, Alan, for joining in. Thank you for everybody who was watching. Hello to everybody who's watching this afterwards, not live. Take care, and I'll see you next time for another stream. Cheers, Alan.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Bye, everybody.
Gaming Rules is proudly sponsored by Game Toppers, upgrading your gaming experience. Visit GameToppersLLC.com.